Welcome to Celebrity Investing, your go-to source for insights, tips, and updates on navigating the exciting landscape of personal and global finance. Please like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive content. This is part 2 of understanding historical simulation, how it works and why it matters. Weather pattern predictions. Using temperature, precipitation, and atmospheric data from decades past, researchers simulate possible future conditions. For instance, by analyzing historical drought patterns, they can gauge the risk of droughts in specific regions over the next decade. Tracking extreme events. Simulations also help scientists understand the frequency and intensity of extreme weather, like hurricanes or heat waves. If a certain area experienced a dramatic uptick in extreme events in the past due to specific environmental changes, similar conditions today could signal what's to come. By bridging the past with the present, historical simulation provides the insights needed to prepare for environmental challenges. It's like having a roadmap made from years of weather records, helping policymakers and communities plan more effectively. Epidemiology and disease spread. Predicting the spread of diseases is another area where historical simulation shines. Epidemiologists rely on it to study how illnesses have behaved before so they can map out risks and responses. Disease outbreak predictions. Historical data on previous outbreaks, like the flu or COVID-19, helps scientists predict how future diseases might spread. By analyzing factors like infection rates and recovery times, they create simulations to anticipate how fast a disease could move through a population. Policy impact testing. Governments and healthcare providers use historical simulation to understand the effectiveness of interventions. For instance, a lockdown during a past outbreak might have slowed the spread significantly. Simulating those conditions allows policymakers to see how similar actions could work today. This method allows for better preparation and response, acting as a guide to navigate future health crises. Think of it as connecting the dots. Prior outbreaks leave a pattern, and historical simulation helps decode it. By applying historical simulations principles, these fields can capitalize on the lessons of the past to prepare for the challenges of the future. Each use case underscores the method's value in making informed, confident decisions. Benefits of historical simulation. Historical simulation offers significant advantages by using real-world data to make predictions and test strategies. Unlike theoretical models, it looks to the past for patterns, giving users reliable and actionable insights. Whether you're improving decision-making or managing risks, this approach brings plenty of benefits. Real-world data utilization. The key strength of historical simulation lies in its use of actual historical data. Why guess when you can rely on facts? With this method, you work with numbers and events that have already happened, ensuring accuracy and relevance. Accuracy. By using verified past data, historical simulation avoids hypothetical assumptions. This leads to results grounded in reality rather than theory. For example, analyzing decades of stock market data provides a clearer picture of potential risks than relying on predictive models alone. Relevance. Historical data mirrors real-world conditions, making simulations immediately practical. If your weather simulation incorporates actual rainfall patterns, it's easier to prepare for droughts. Think of it like plotting a route based on roads you've already traveled. You're more confident because it's familiar terrain. Historical simulation ensures you're not navigating blind. Scenario transparency. Another standout benefit of historical simulation is that its results are straightforward and easy to understand. Unlike complex models that might feel like black boxes, this approach connects directly to real events, making it easier to interpret outcomes. Clear comparisons. When results are based on past scenarios, it's simple to trace cause and effect. If a historical market crash triggers a specific portfolio loss in the simulation, the connection is clear. Easier communication. Explaining insights to stakeholders becomes less of a headache when you're dealing with something relatable, actual history. Decision makers can see the story the data tells without requiring advanced technical knowledge. It's like showing your work in a math problem. People trust results more when they can follow the steps and see how you got there. Cost effectiveness. Compared to other modeling techniques, historical simulation also stands out for its cost efficiency. You don't need expensive tools or endless resources to make real progress. No need for advanced models. Since historical simulation relies on past data, there's no need to build complicated theoretical frameworks from scratch. This saves time, money, and brainpower. Widely available data. Much of the data used, like stock prices or weather conditions, is openly accessible for free or at low cost. You already have the raw materials available, reducing expense further. Imagine baking a cake using ingredients you already have in your pantry instead of buying specialty items. Historical simulation helps you get results without blowing your budget. By focusing on real data, delivering clear results, and keeping costs manageable, historical simulation is a practical and effective tool that stands apart from other methods. It's proof that sometimes the most reliable solutions are also the simplest. Challenges and limitations. Historical simulation is a valuable tool, but it isn't without its obstacles. From data quality to computational demands, certain challenges can limit its effectiveness. Let's break down some of the most common hurdles. Dependence on historical data. The accuracy of historical simulation heavily depends on the quality of the data it uses. Think of it as trying to piece together a puzzle with missing or damaged pieces. The final picture may not fully align with reality. Data quality issues. If the historical data contains errors, the results will reflect those flaws. In finance, for example, incomplete stock price records might skew portfolio risk calculations. Limited availability. Some industries lack detailed historical records. For instance, if you're simulating environmental changes for a remote region, gaps in data could hinder reliable forecasting. No matter how advanced your simulation tools are, they can only produce insights based on the information fed into them. If the historical data isn't strong, the predictions won't be either. Inability to predict rare events. Historical simulation relies on past events to make future predictions. But what happens when the past doesn't include rare or unexpected scenarios? These black swan events can throw off even the most well-designed simulations. Unrecorded scenarios. Events like global pandemics or sudden geopolitical crises may have no precedent in your dataset. Without a historical basis, simulations can't account for these outliers. False assumptions. Simulations often presume that future conditions will resemble the past. When rare events occur, this assumption breaks down. It's like driving with a GPS that only knows familiar routes. When faced with an unmarked detour, you're left guessing which direction to take. Historical simulation, while powerful, isn't built to navigate these one-off situations. Computing power requirements. Large-scale or complex simulations often need significant computing power. The deeper the analysis, the more resources are required to churn through volumes of data efficiently. Processing speed. For industries that handle massive datasets, like climate science or financial modeling, simulating outcomes for millions of variables can take hours or even days. Cost of infrastructure. Running simulations on advanced hardware or cloud systems can become expensive, especially for smaller organizations. Imagine trying to run a high-performance race car with an engine designed for a family sedan. Without enough computing power, the process slows down and limits how much ground can be covered. This makes scaling simulations a tougher task for organizations with fewer resources. Historical simulation, while practical, has its limits. It's only as strong as the data, can miss outliers, and places heavy demands on processing power. These issues don't diminish its usefulness but are important factors to keep in mind when relying on this approach. Stay tuned and continue to watch our videos to gain valuable insights into the world of finance. Subscribe, like, and share to continue your journey to financial success.